All right, you've waited long enough. We are finally going to sit down and talk about my 2 rounds down in South Florida on the minor league golf tour. For the first round, I played Atlantic National near Green Acres, Florida. Fun course, short, really short course. I think it was playing like 6,300 or something like that. A couple notes right off the top before we dive into what actually happened. Green speeds. Easily fastest greens I've ever played on in my life. I think they were probably running around a 13. I didn't stemp them. If I want to be conservative, I'll say 12 and a half. This being my first minor league golf tour tournament, they had me take a picture right before on the first tee, and you can see how glorious this picture turned out. I'm thinking about sending them another one, a better one, just so I can not look like a complete loser on their website. Nonetheless, part of the experience. Step up to the first tee, hit an absolute duck hook into the woods. Honestly, I thought it hit a house. I had to re-tee. I did a provisional, striped it, of course. Found the original one. It caught a tree and went backwards, but safe. Then I topped a 5-iron over the bunker, but out of the trees. Hit a wedge onto the green, and actually gave myself a fine look. It was long. It was 21 feet for par, but it hit the edge of the hole, didn't go in, made a bogey. So right off the bat, I'm reeling. I'm kind of unsteady. Hole 2, easy par, nothing crazy. Before we get too deep into this round, if you do like the message, if you want to support me on this journey, if you believe in chasing dreams, if you believe in second chances, it really means a lot to me if you'd hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. It really helps the channel, helps me grow, helps me get the message out there for other people to follow along, and you'll get notified when I post a link to live scoring so you can follow along the day I'm playing instead of having to wait 3 weeks for me to make this video to tell you about how it went. You can keep up with me live. Hole 3, pretty good tee shot. I'm 100 yards out in some light rough. Just quit on a wedge swing. It just came out to the right, short, poor chip, failed to get up and down, bogey. So I'm 2 over through 3. And I'm on the ropes early. Really, really shaky start. I think the biggest thing that happened today was I just didn't trust the swing. It's the bottom line. I fell back into some old patterns, some old routines where I would get late, inconsistent delivery of the golf club. 80% of the shots I hit today were mishits of some sort. Very few well-timed swings. And again, this is kind of what I expected. We had gotten to a place where I felt good about my swing, and then I just got way too many swing thoughts. I went down too many rabbit holes, and I got myself all kind of backwards. Figured that out, realized my error, but 2 weeks was just not enough time for me to right the ship. And so I went into this with a lot of old habits and just way too many thoughts in my head, and that's going to come up again and again over the next 2 days. Make it to the next couple of holes fairly simply, still hanging on by a thread in terms of how I feel. But as I like to say, I Scott Fawcetted my way around the golf course, just picking good targets, staying with the plan, even though I got a rocky start. I picked targets where even if I missed, I would be okay. And so it didn't look great. I didn't hit a lot of fairways. I didn't hit a lot of greens. I didn't hit a lot of shots close. But I also didn't miss in catastrophic places, despite the fact that I was hitting some really, really bad shots. So I was swinging like a 20 handicap, playing like, maybe a 1. And that's just all due to course management. So solid course management gets me to hole 9, 100 yards out, wedge in hand, absolutely skull it over the pin. Again, right decision gives me still a 20-foot downhill putt. And this is where the green speeds come back into play here. 3 putt from 20 feet. Just unacceptable. I hope it doesn't sound like an excuse or like I'm complaining. I love fast greens. These were amazing to play on. But when I'm practicing week to week on greens that are literally running a 6, and I'm not joking, unfortunately, I stemp them myself. The greens I have to practice on here are 6. And so when you double that and go into tournaments, it's just tough. It's tough to adapt. Nonetheless, I make the turn feeling a little bit hard done by, if I'm being honest with you. That 3 putt on 9, I felt like I should have made the turn at worst 2 over. And honestly, the bogey on 3 I thought was poor on my part. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I'm 3 over, but really I could be 1, maybe 2 over. So I take that into the back 9, feeling okay about my game. This is where the wheels fall off here. If you read the title of the video, you know what's coming. Number 10, I straight up shanked a 5-wood off the tee. I went under the golf ball, chunked it, towed it, almost out of bounds. Just punched out, laid up, and then you'd think my next shot was a layup too, because I was about 30 feet short of the pin. Again, just put it up there nice and close, tap in bogey. No doubles yet, but it just looks so ugly. Number 11, fly the green over the pin. Worst possible spot to miss this. Really, really shallow green. I've got a downhill bunker shot going downhill to a green running away from me. Look, this is where the difference between like a public course and a tournament course really shows. A shot like this, you're not going to make par. Par is out of the question from the moment your tee shot goes over the green. At this point, it becomes about not making double. So the only way to make par on this hole for me where I was at would have been to chip in. I don't make bogey. And now I'm 5 over. And the panic is starting to hit a little bit, as I know my swing is not good enough to make up for this. I know I'm not hitting the ball well enough to go attack the course, and so I'm just trying to hang on. Hole 12, actually hit an okay one. A little bit late, but I got away with it. This leaves me with just under 100 yards, knocked down a little wedge here. Put some good draw spin on it, gonna let it come up the top of the ridge and ride back down towards the hole. Leaves me with a 4-footer for my first birdie of the day. Testy little putt, but just ram it in the back and call it good. Unfortunately, the next hole got a 65-footer after a pulled 9-iron, and on greens like this from 65 feet, 8 feet short is really not the worst thing in the world. It's kind of just don't putt it off the green in the water. But an unfortunate 3-putt bogey means we cancel the birdie. So at this point, I'm 6 over par, and I'm really at like in my head now. This is one of those things where it's kind of a catch-22. I really enjoy making these videos. I really enjoy sharing this process with you guys. And there is an element of it that makes it more difficult than it would be if I was just trying to do this anonymously. Because all of a sudden I'm 6 over with 3 to play thinking, oh my God, like just break 80, dude. Because it's going to be really embarrassing if you don't. Especially, this is your first tournament after shooting 88. Like, people are watching this. It's on the internet for everyone. You can't shoot a million again. And so that's starting to enter my head, and all of a sudden I'm not thinking about playing the next shot anymore. I'm thinking about protecting myself from 89. And so par the next hole with actually probably the only good drive of the day. And then hit another pretty solid drive on the par 3 17th. Leave myself 20 feet. Here we go again. 3-putt from 20 feet for bogey. I just lack of focus at this point. Thinking way too much about breaking 80. Thinking way too much about what y'all are going to think, what I'm going to think, how embarrassing it's going to be. I go into hole 18, 7 over par. Like, just don't blow it. Like, just don't miss the ball at this point. Hit a good drive. Leave myself about 200 yards to the pin. It's not really a great par 5 to go 4 and 2. There's bunkers long and short, and hard, fast, tabletop green. Not a good situation, but at this point, I'm grasping at straws. I have a 6-iron in hand. I'm not going to lay up. So I hit my 6-iron, just kind of trapped it, a low cut. I thought it was going to be fine. I hit it so poorly. I thought it was going to be in front of the green and a great spot to chip up. Somehow I actually carried it pretty far, all the way into the back bunker, and now I have a downhill lie in the bunker, facing a green, running away from me, short-sided, with the bunker long of the pin, so I can't even go right at the pin anymore. So at this point, I'm thinking, I just got to get this out and keep it on the planet. It's probably not going to stay on the green. Keep it within a chippable distance. I just hack it out of the bunker. It rolls all the way across the green onto the fringe. Which is what I was expecting. Again, greens like this, tournament conditions, pins like this, they put the pins where they do for a reason. It's bad to be out of position. If you're out of position, you're done. There's no getting lucky. There's no figuring it out. If you have a downhill lie short-sided to a pin on this fast of green, you better hope you chip in for par. So I got a chip. This one's actually for birdie. Just blaze it over the green. Completely lost my mind at this point. 12-footer from off the fringe. Didn't go in. Tap in a bogey. One putt the last hole for a 6. So pad the putting stats there. But the day ended like it started. Just not trusting my swing. Not having anything reliable. Not having any consistency. And it's kind of what I expected. I don't really know what to say about today's round other than it was wild. It was a roller coaster. I hung on as much as I could. It was really challenging. And it's kind of all I can really expect given the nature of the swing I had on this day. That's the bottom line. I shot 79 because I made bad swings. So frustrating to see another high 70s round, especially when in the middle of the summer I was seeing, like 69 in the Wyoming Open. I shot 68 here in Georgia. It's like, I know I can do it. And then it evaporates. But for the first time in our competitive life, we have back-to-back tournaments. So I got to start figuring out how to flush this round, think about something else, get ready for tomorrow because we have another early tee time and a totally different course an hour away. So I have to figure out something for tomorrow. What am I going to do that's going to make sure I can at least put the ball in the air in a way that's reliable? Because I can't Scott Fawcett my way around tomorrow's course. Tomorrow's course is Eagle Trace Country Club, where they held the Honda Classic, which was a PGA tournament in like the 80s and 90s. 7,000 yards. It's a proper challenge. So this is a course where you actually have to hit the ball good if you want to break 100. Seriously though, thanks for watching. Thanks for continued belief, continued support. It really means a lot. Going into this next year, 2025, I've got big hopes. Despite the 79, I think we're headed in the right direction. And so I hope to see you guys are all around in 2025. Share this video with a friend. Hit that like. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you next week.